God told you to work it out with your cheating husband. Why didn't God tell him not to cheat?
And
Ladies and gentlemen, mostly ladies, because most of my viewers are women. Unfortunately, we have another case of oversharing on the internet. I watched this video days ago and it's been weighing heavy on my spirit, okay? Because honestly and truthfully, this situation is very, very messy, but I feel like there's something deeper here going on that I really want to discuss. And I'm sure you guys will have a lot of opinions about this video too, if you don't already. I mean, a lot of people have already seen it, as you can tell by the views. So let's watch this video together and break it down. But before that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you want to wait, I understand. I'm just saying, it's there. And if you want to see this video ad-free, you can join my YouTube memberships. I uploaded an ad-free version of the video there. It's cheap, y'all, it's cheap. But if not, then keep on watching.
So yes, my husband had an affair. I never wanted to come to social media with this. I have honestly just been giving it to God and going to therapy. But let's go ahead and address this comment. At the start of the year, my husband came to me and told me that a woman reached out to him on Twitter asking for help with her business. I don't know what it was about the woman. My husband has worked with many other women before this. It was just something about this woman that I was like, babe, I don't know about this. Something just doesn't feel right. And lo and behold, my intuition was correct.
I hate to break this to you, but there wasn't something off about this woman. There was something off about your husband, and something within you told you that your husband was shady, and you felt like this was the woman that he was going to be shady with. But what you were feeling was your husband being off, not the woman. Because a woman with a vibe that's off can't make a faithful man cheat on his wife. That doesn't make any sense.
Said business relationship ended up transpiring into something more. When I found out that it was transpiring into something more, I fought my husband on this. I tried to get my husband to understand that what was going on was not right, and that he was opening a door for him to fall into a sin that was so much bigger than what he was already committing.
You can't convince a man that vowed for eternity to take care of you and your heart in front of God and all of your closest family and friends to not cheat on you if he doesn't want to. He knew that cheating on you would hurt you, and he did it in spite of that. There's nothing that you could have ever said to stop him from cheating on you.
And because he was not hearing me, I left my home in the middle of the night, pregnant, with nothing. And it all spiraled out of control. And maybe this is where my downfall comes into play, because maybe had I not left from the house, maybe had I fought my husband a little bit harder than I had already been fighting, this relationship would not have advanced in the way it did. My husband sought comfort in this woman. She was giving him something that I was not giving him in those moments. I was definitely being quarrelsome because I just was trying to pound into his head, like, you're gonna fall, you're being tempted and you're going to fall. When I left, he fell. Now, I cannot speak on that. That is not my testimony to speak on. And I'm just gonna leave that there.
Honestly, leaving in the middle of the night was the right thing to do. Clearly, something in your spirit told you, I need to get up and leave at this very moment, because what you found out about your husband was disturbing your spirit that badly. So if getting up and leaving at 20 weeks pregnant in the middle of the night is what you needed to do to protect your sanity, then you made the right decision. Like I said, that man married you in front of your family and friends and then got you pregnant. And while you were in such a vulnerable state of pregnancy, because as we know, being pregnant in general is very intense, okay? Your emotions are high. And then let's not even talk about pregnancy for Black women. It is extremely dangerous, and Black women have the highest fatality rate. So the best thing that we can do during this time is to sit back and be at peace. But no, while you're going through your very first pregnancy, he is out here cheating on you and causing you so much distress that you felt the need to leave home. This man was putting you through psychological and and emotional torment. I feel like cheating on your pregnant wife or pregnant partner in general is like psychological and emotional torment. I feel like there's not much worse you can do to your partner. That is just such a vulnerable time. And I'm really sorry that you went through this. Leaving was the logical thing to do. Now, this part of the video was also when we see the first sign of self-blame. Okay, her blaming herself for the affair. And not only self-blame, but just kind of like shifting some of the blame away from the husband. And that's evident in three things. When she stated that, maybe it's on her, she shouldn't have left the house, maybe her leaving is what caused him to fall deeper into his affair. She also says that she feels like this mistress clearly had something that she was lacking. And another thing that she mentioned was that she was vehemently trying to explain to her husband that he was going to fall. She mentions this falling multiple times. And for me, this signals that in her mind, she doesn't feel like this affair is solely the fault of her husband. Because saying that you feel like, okay, clearly this other woman had something that I didn't, makes it seem like he cheated on her because she was lacking something. In my opinion, unless something extreme is going on in the relationship, people don't cheat on good partners or their pregnant partners unless there's something lacking within themselves. Secondly, whenever she mentions, oh, if I wouldn't have left, he wouldn't have fallen as deep. He would have fallen deeper. And I know that because he started an affair in general. If you're willing to start an affair, then more than likely you're willing to deepen it. I mean, you started it in the first place. So that isn't logical. Whether you were in the house or not, he was going to continue that affair. Now, with what level of audacity, who knows? Maybe he felt like because you weren't in the house, he was, more justified in moving about and moving freely, but he was going to deepen that affair regardless. And again, that wasn't her fault. And constantly saying that he's going to fall, like he's tripping and falling on accident, is kind of shifting the blame away from him, because it's making it seem almost as if like, oh, he just fell into it, like it wasn't something that took actionable steps to do. Because cheating on your partner, you have to make a multitude of decisions to get to that point, So to say that he was falling implies that he was doing something unintentionally or accidentally, when that is the furthest thing from the truth.
In that, I decided to stand for my marriage still, and I decided to go with reconciliation rather than divorce. I never defended my husband when it came to him having said affair. I fought my husband. Like I said, I left my house 20 weeks pregnant in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes on my back because I was so against what was going on. I don't use godly character to hide any darkness. I speak on all the time how my marriage is not perfect. I am not a perfect person. I do use godly character in sense of extending forgiveness to my husband, extending grace to my husband, as well as the woman who was involved with the affair. I did speak to her. I spoke to her on the situation. I told her how I wanted nothing more in life but to be a wife and a mom, and how I felt like that was being attacked. I spoke life into her. I told her that she was a beautiful woman, and I didn't understand how, we were falling into what we were falling into. My husband does not abuse me. You may have seen me and my husband arguing. My husband and I were arguing as a result of the affair that was going on between you and him. But to say that my husband abuses me is a little bit extensive.
Honestly, I would argue that cheating on your pregnant wife is almost a form of abuse. As I mentioned earlier, it feels like emotional and mental torment. Listen, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to say this man is abusive, but you're definitely not getting a Husband of the Year award by cheating on your pregnant wife. She mentions that she wanted nothing more in life to be a wife and a mother. There's no possible way that he did not know that information. So he met this woman, right, that wanted nothing more in life to be a wife and a mother, married her, got her pregnant, and then put her through this situation, knowing that she wanted nothing more than what she is getting in this moment, which is a marriage and having kids. Why would you ruin what she feels is the happiest moment in her life thus far by stepping out with another woman. You kind of have to be sick in the head to do something like that. Mind you, they haven't even been married for a year. They haven't even been married for a year.
And lastly, to say that I have no identity outside of my husband, I just gained one of the biggest identities that I could have possibly ever imagined. I am trying to navigate this journey of motherhood while also being a wife, and it's one of the things that I prayed for so hard, and I just feel like it's been taken away from me.
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be a wife and a mother, but I feel like her feeling like being a wife and a mother is the biggest part of her identity is kind of a part of the problem here. Because first and foremost, before you became either of those things, you were a human being and you were a woman, you know, that deserves respect and basic human decency, which her husband has not extended to her. I understand that she's navigating, you know, this new life of being a wife and a mom, but for any woman out there, you cannot forget the woman that you were before you had children. That woman deserves to have an identity of her own and to be in a situation where she is respected not only by herself, but by her partner.
Just because of this whole scandal, I feel like I've honestly just been living in a vortex. This literally began at the start of the year, and it's currently almost the end of the year. And here I am being harassed by this woman because my husband told her that he had to cut off the affair. As soon as the affair was cut off, it just spiraled into us being these horrible people and saying that we're trying to grow. Yes, we are trying to grow. Yes, we are trying to grow. We are trying to become stronger in our marriage, and I'm trying to,
I'm not saying that you'll never face obstacles within your marriage, but if y'all have been married for less than a year and y'all have been dealing with this issue since the beginning of the year, that implies that he started cheating almost immediately after y'all got married. And I would argue that you can't really grow in a marriage with a person that is clearly displaying the behaviors of a person that doesn't want to be married from the get-go. Like, he didn't even let the marriage marinate just a little bit. Like, season it, cover it, put it in the fridge, let it marinate for a minute. No. I mean, off the rip, just cheating.
It's just so much, just so many allegations that are being made and so many lies that are being spewed from the numerous accounts that have been harassing me that this woman has been making. And I'm just tired. I'm so tired of my character being attacked because I decided to reconcile my marriage. I'm so tired of my character being attacked because I decided to be forgiving and I decided to extend grace. And honestly, I am just ready to lay this all to bed. My husband had an affair. It was decided on to go the route of reconciliation. However, with that being the route that we chose, I don't think that it's fair that I'm being harassed. The numerous calls, the numerous emails, the fake accounts that are demoralizing my character, I just don't think it's fair, and that's just that.
I do agree that her character shouldn't be attacked because she didn't do anything wrong in the situation. Now, is staying married to a man that clearly didn't want to be a husband, probably not even a father, a bad decision? Yeah. That doesn't mean that she deserves to be harassed by the mistress. Now that we finished watching the video, I just have a few things that I want to say. If you're a woman that's watching this, I really need us to remember some things. If you have a daughter or a young person in your life, I need you to reiterate the idea to them that being a wife and mother does not have to be the only part of their identity. They don't even have to be the most important things about them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to get married or you shouldn't want to have children. If you want to do these things, awesome, great, nothing wrong with that. But I implore every human being to really sit down and think, is this something I really want to do? Or is this something I want to do because society is telling me that I need to do these things? And if it's something that you really want to do, hooray, congrats, then go and do it. But remember that being a mother or a parent in general isn't just about having a baby stability or having this perfect little family. It's about truly being a parent, okay, to a child that will come out in any way, shape, or form. So that is an important message. But aside from that, if you do want to be a wife and mother, it is so important to remember who you were before or learn who this new woman is in this new life. You do not have to give every last bit of yourself to your husband and your children. You deserve to save a slice or two of your identity for yourself, whatever that looks like for you. It is a learning curve, it is a journey, but I feel like as women, whenever we place so much of our identity in marriage and children, it makes a lot of women more likely to settle with the person and stay in a situation because they feel like, well, who am I without these things? I want to have kids, so I'm just gonna go with the flow so I can get to that point, and they just hope it'll all work out despite the red flags. Or if you already have the kid with the person, if you're already married to the person, oh my gosh, like I achieved this thing that I wanted so badly, which was marriage and having a kid, and what would that look like to the people around me if I throw in the towel and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore? If that is the biggest part of my identity, if you remove the marriage part, for example, it almost feels like you're removing one of your organs because you feel like that is the biggest part of your identity. It's simply not true. You have to understand that at the end of the day, you are an individual, your partner is an individual, and y'all come together and make a unit. But if somebody is putting a wedge between y'all's unit, then there is nothing wrong with saying, you know what, this is no longer serving me, and I am not less of a woman or less of a human being if I walk away from the situation. I'm still whole with or without you. And this kind of leads into my next point. This one's a little bit touchy and may piss some people off. Y'all might be mad at me, but I'm just gonna have to say it.
Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
I feel like religion makes a lot of women very passive and docile. A lot of times if they'll go to an elder or another woman about an infidelity or whatever they're going through, oh, you know, just pray about it instead of actually dealing with the issue head on. Sure, you can pray about it, but what's praying about it gonna do if you're not also pairing that with actionable effort to face the issue head on? You're praying about it and then what? Just because you're a Christian or a God-fearing woman doesn't mean you have to put up with anything and everything and be a doormat. You deserve respect. And as far as I understand, infidelity or cheating is a sin. That's, you know, kind of like frowned upon in the religion. So immediately should be a no-no if you're following the rules of the book. No, especially so early on in your relationship. It upsets me and it hurts me so badly because I feel like in a lot of ways, for some people, religion can be freeing. I understand that. But for a lot of other people, it's more so like a cage. It boxes them in and doesn't allow them to think freely or think for themselves and make self-serving decisions. You kind of just have to give in, you have to acquiesce and do whatever is best for the husband. He gets to cheat and he gets to keep his family. And you have to sit there and suffer and go through all the pain and struggle of trying to get yourself back to a good place when you did nothing wrong. Just pray about it. Well, why are the prayers always telling the women to stay? God told you to work it out with your cheating husband. Why didn't God tell you to hit him upside the head with a frying pan? Why didn't God tell you to throw some grits on him? Why didn't God tell him not to cheat?
Damn, bitch.
Too much? My bad. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the internalization, okay, or self-blame when it comes to a lot of women. Oh, maybe, you know, I wasn't enough. Maybe it's because I didn't do this. Maybe it's because I left home. Maybe it's because I didn't, you know, convince him enough. Whatever it is, you know. I really, again, need women to drill it in our heads. If somebody is going to cheat on you, or if somebody is a cheater, there is nothing that you could ever do, right, that would make him not cheat on you. Changing your appearance will not work. Trying to keep him away from women that you feel are shady or off will not work. Cooking more, cleaning more will not work. Being more docile will not work. Nothing you could ever possibly do will stop someone that wants to cheat on you from cheating on you. So we need to stop with the blame. It's not about you not being enough. It's about him not being enough, simply put. And also stop blaming the other woman and removing blame from the person that cheated on you. If a woman knows a man is married and proceeds to enter an affair with him, they are absolutely wrong. But nobody is more wrong in the situation than the husband that stood up there in a tuxedo and a bow tie and promised to love and cherish you for the rest of eternity, or whatever you say at the altar. He's the one that's the most in the wrong here. And he didn't fall and trip accidentally over to that lady's apartment. He knew what he was doing. This type of relationship will never work out, especially when you're facing such difficulties in early stage in the relationship or marriage. Like, y'all just got married. Y'all are supposed to be in marital bliss. And also, not only did y'all just get married, but y'all are also having your first baby. This is supposed to be such a happy moment, and it's tainted because of something that this man decided to go out and do. Like I said, this sort of relationship will never work out, and it's the kind of situation that will break you down and break you down and break you down mentally until you have a literal mental breakdown. I'm just saying. What do you guys think about this situation? I would love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you can be notified when more videos are posted on my channel. And if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, I created a pretty comprehensive YouTube guide that's going to be linked in my bio down below. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I recently launched memberships on my page, and from this point moving forward, I'm going to be uploading ad-free videos over there. So, go ahead and check that out. It would help out the channel tremendously. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.